ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהכל נהיה בדברו. Maimonides, Rambam in Hebrew, has a series of articles that are called articles of faith. Each one of them starts with I believe in. Starts with I believe in one God, whose unity is totally different as any unity that we see in nature. I believe that the Torah that I have today is the Torah that Moses received in Mount Sinai. What is the Torah, the 5 books of Moses that contain hundreds of instructions, how I'm supposed to live in this world. He says that Moses was the greatest of all prophets. No prophet was like Moses. God explained the Torah to him, and that was transmitted through generations and eventually written down in the Talmud. I believe that that is so. I believe there is only one God. I believe that the Torah, that the 5 books of Moses that I have in front of me today, those are exactly the words that God told Moses. How do I know that? Do I have any scientific proof? Can I do an experiment? You know, in science, you have a hypothesis, but you have to do an experiment. How can I demonstrate that there is a God in this world, that the Torah that I have today is exactly the one that Moses received from God in Mount Sinai? Well, my first response to that, my first reaction is the following. You know why? Because my father told me so. How did your father know? Because his father told him so. You know, from generation to generation, they have been telling there's one God. The Torah that you have is exactly the Torah that Moses received in Mount Sinai. Do you think that your ancestors did not know about scientific rules? Maybe they didn't know as much science, but they weren't less intelligent than you are. They also questioned, and yet they believed. So therefore I say to you, I believe it because my father told it to me, because my grandfather told it to him, and so on. But there's another reason. I want to see what are the effects. What does the Torah tell you to do? I think the Torah is an extraordinary document. There are certain things that I can't understand. There are 2 sons of Jacob that went and killed everybody in a city because they violated their sister. Can I identify with that? No. Well, that happened many years ago. I don't know how things were then, how people reacted in those times. God told Abraham one day, you know, you have a son, very important son. I want you to offer him as a sacrifice. And Abraham was about to do it. And at the last moment, God told him no. If God were to tell me, would I do it? No. I wouldn't offer my son as a sacrifice. So why do I believe in the Torah that has that? Maybe that was a very important lesson for humanity. You know, there were many societies that practiced human sacrifices at that time, and God came and said, no, I don't want human sacrifices, and he organized a drama in order to show that he does not want human sacrifices. Do I understand everything in the Torah? No. But nothing that I have to do goes against my moral fiber, the genetic elements that I have in me, the ethics that I was taught. Nothing in the Torah goes against that. There are certain things that I still don't understand, but they're neutral. They're not immoral. I'm not supposed to wear something that is made out of linen and wool, woven together. Why not? I don't know. But there's no morality in that. But on the other hand, there are many, many things. You know, democracy has its roots not in Greece, has its roots really in the Torah, where it tells you that the rich and the poor have to contribute equally, that every human being has infinite value, that God created one man in the beginning to teach you that nobody is better than anybody else. Nobody can say my ancestors are better than yours because we're all descendants of one person. And his name was Adam. In Hebrew, Adamah is earth. He comes from the earth. We have to respect the earth. We have to thank the earth for the many things it gives us. We have to thank the earth for the fruits that we eat. We have to be respectful of animals. Do you know that hunting is a crime in Jewish tradition? You mean to kill somebody for sport? You kill something because you're hungry, but not for sport. To step on the leg of a dog, to make him howl, that is forbidden. It's called Tsar Ba'alei Chayim. You have to respect everything that is living. We don't make gods out of animals, but we don't mistreat them. You know, we are appreciative. We appreciate the sun and the moon, the stars. We appreciate, but we don't worship them. We know that they are the creation of God, that they give us life. You know, we respect somebody who has a different opinion. The Talmud is full of controversy. And it doesn't mean that if somebody has a different opinion that he is wrong and you are right. You know, sometimes there can be different ways of getting to the same place. We are very tolerant of others. We were persecuted for centuries, so therefore we know what it is to be in want. We know what poverty is, so we sympathize, we empathize with those that have less, with those that are discriminated. We were chosen to transmit a message of Torah. We are few, but numbers don't matter too much. When you have the right message, we are few, but we have the right message for all of humanity. Take a look at what the Jewish people contributed to culture, to civilization in general. Take a look at the number of Nobel Prizes that Jews received. Take a look at what Jews did in science, in the arts, in technology, in culture. You know, the Psalms, great creation. Their origin is Jewish. So bear in mind, it's not only because of what my father told me and his father told him. I also see what the effects are. Have you been to Israel? Why don't you go to Israel for a couple of weeks? Take a look at what the Jewish people did in a few decades. Take a look what others have done in a similar time frame, and you will see the difference. And this is all because of our heritage. So I want you to know that I am a believer because I feel that everything the Torah teaches makes me a better human being, and I can be grateful to God for creating me. As a matter of fact, I am trying to argue, I'm trying to explain what is really unexplainable. You know, it is really a feeling, because basically I cannot conceive of my life outside of the Torah.